Welcome back. This is part 2 of Understanding Autism Spectrum Disorder. It's easy, you're just not trying. That's something many children with ASD hear from people who do not understand how their sensory input works. Children with ASD hear, see, smell, and feel so much that sometimes it's just a lot to understand and bear. This can hinder their education in the classroom, and many teachers need to understand this in order to better educate those with ASD. This young girl here in the slide is seeing, hearing, smelling so much that she cannot even focus on her work. I hear the sound of my pencil scratching on the paper, people moving, students talking, teachers talking lots of words all at once, fans spinning, heaters blowing, other people laughing at me. I can't selectively filter what I want to hone in on. What do you think I should be attending to? I see posters, artwork, things on desks, people moving around, flickering fluorescent lights, contrast between shadow and light, what's happening in the windows and doors. I find it very difficult to concentrate on just one thing when there's so many other things present. I smell cleaning products, other people's food, perfume, glue, paint, pencils. These are things that make me kind of sick. I feel my clothes, my shoes, the rough desk. I simply can't ignore things that I feel that bother me. And you still expect me to sit down and be quiet, stay on task, make eye contact, not stim, and look normal and be neat. I am already overwhelmed trying to process what I hear, see, and smell. Now, this slide looks chaotic. That's because it is. This young girl and many other children with ASD suffer every single day to do simple tasks. To sit down for 60 seconds can be a lifetime for those with ASD. These barriers in the classroom are very, very, very tall buildings compared to what we see as tiny pebbles of a task. Children with ASD need differentiation and accommodations within the classroom in order to overcome these barriers. When discussing ASD, many people always hone in on what needs to be worked on, the symptoms of ASD, and how it can hinder their socialization and growth in life. However, those with ASD are extremely strong, and there's many strengths to be capitalized on. Every day, those with ASD face both internal and external challenges. These challenges are often the highlight when discussing ASD. Being on the spectrum means differentiation from the norm, but if you really think about it, normal's not the only way to be, nor is it very fun. There are multiple kinds of intelligences and multiple ways to be a contributing part of society. Those with ASD possess some incredible strengths and forms of intelligence that those who are not on the spectrum could never be able to replicate. One example is a child with ASD may not be able to communicate, however, may have hyperlexia, which is the ability to decode language at an early age, even without the ability to comprehend it. Other strengths include long-term memory skills, direct communication, math, computer, music, and artistic abilities. Those with ASD can think in a visual way as well. They're punctual, honest, and detailed. Also, they have extensive knowledge and resulting from deep, deep study in their favorite topics. Understanding of rules and sequences is something that they are strong in as well. Logical thinking that is helpful in decision-making process and their intensive focus when working on their favorite activities. They're independent thinkers, which is being less concerned about what others may think of them. Because you know what? Again, being normal is not always fun. Throughout the past 70 years, the research on autism spectrum disorder has been intensive. The research ranges from possible causes, cures, what helps, what hinders, and the research is still going. The goal for many teachers and parents is to have their students and children gain necessary skills in order to be self-sufficient inside and outside the classroom. For students with ASD, being productive members of their community, possessing self-advocacy, and the ability to have socially appropriate interactions with others is of utmost importance due to the struggles of ASD. There are some evidence-based classroom educational accommodations that can help overcome these barriers. The first is early intervention. It is said that with early detection, those with ASD can go on to live more productive, self-sufficient lives. Earlier the diagnosis and the earlier the intervention, the better chance children have at being and becoming more social and thriving adults, and possibly even outgrowing ASD. The first few years of a child's life are vital to their development, and this is foundational to their social and cognitive functions, as well as self-regulatory abilities and physical health. Early intervention is designed to allow families and children a chance at a more typically developing lifestyle, where students have the opportunity for academic success, as well as the ability to join the job market in the future and reduce delinquency. Early intervention can be home-based or even center-based, which gives families the opportunity to choose what's best for their needs. Assistive technology is a term that refers to assistive or adaptive devices that assist those with disabilities and allow them to complete activities of daily living. Activities of daily living are self-care activities that include toileting, mobility, eating, bathing, dressing, and communication. With assistive technology, those with disabilities have a sense of autonomy by empowerment through the performance of tasks they were formerly unable to accomplish or had a great difficulty accomplishing. A common example of assistive technology is the use of wheelchairs in order to offer mobility to those who otherwise were unable to walk for various reasons. Assistive technology. In more current research, findings show that the use of assistive technology within the classroom can really help those with ASD and facilitate their learning. This can be done with an assortment of assistive technology for various reasons in order to cope with the many symptoms of ASD. This can be dealt with the social challenges, communication difficulties, and the repetitive stimulatory behaviors and genetic disorders. Some children use assistive technology as a communication tool to relay information to peers, teachers, and family members, thus bridging the gap between their inabilities and their abilities. Some examples of assistive technology that can help children with ASD are speech generating devices, assistive listening systems, and portable word processors. Children with autism often have issues developing language, and in order to allow students to develop their communication skills, speech generated devices use programs that synthesize voices to communicate when certain icons are pressed. Receptive language is oftentimes difficult for children with ASD. Their ability to process information can be hard when there's a lot of background noise and auditory stimulation. In order to make listening less chaotic, earpieces can cancel out the noise, making listening to speech easier for the child. Word processors allow the student the ability to express themselves in written form without the pressure of physically writing everything down. This can help in differentiation in the classroom for those with ASD, showcasing their literary abilities. This also helps when children get older and they have to do test taking or standardized testing that is timed. This can be an accommodation for them and offered to them throughout their educational career. Visual supports for those with ASD, communication, scheduling, and social interaction. For families of those with autism, understanding exactly what their child wants can be a very difficult and frustrating task. Visual supports for children with ASD are vital in their ability to conduct everyday living skills. Children on the spectrum find it very hard to communicate with others, especially when it comes to their choices. And in many cases, those with ASD are nonverbal. With visuals, those with ASD can point or present a picture of their desired object, food, or toy to their teacher or parent, easing their day-to-day activities. These visuals can be both computer-based and physical, with photos with Velcro on the back that are laminated, or using a tablet. Children with ASD often repeat words that are said by their teacher or parent, resulting in the children often repeating the last object proposed to them, as opposed to making distinct item choices. Visual supports can give children with ASD the ability to choose between two items independently. Each child's schedule or visual supports should be unique and include photos of the choices, activities, or food and rewards specific for those child's needs. Visual supports can offer the ease of frustration in transitioning for those with ASD. Offering a visual schedule would allow a student to understand the scope of their day and make different choices and not have them misunderstand something that might be happening. So, for example, if a child has to use the restroom first, then the playground, and then perhaps their snack after, these visual supports will allow the child to use a tablet and click on these items, or use a finger grasp with the picture with Velcro, stick it onto their schedule, and understand the scope of their day ahead of time, easing this frustration. Conclusions. Most children wake up on an average day and play with toys, clap, smile, hug their loved ones, and perhaps even sit down while being read a story. Most children learn and grow seamlessly each and every day, becoming more talkative, more curious, and self sufficient. Those with autism spectrum disorder wake up and have to work double or even triple as hard in order to play with toys the right way, understand their surroundings, be able to look at you, let you get close enough to hug them, or even smile. Every day is a new journey and struggle to get past the sights and sounds and be able to listen, retain, and learn. With the proper knowledge shared amongst parents and teachers, along with interventions in the classroom and accommodations, young children with ASD will have a more favorable outcome and social life. That concludes my presentation on autism spectrum disorder. I wanted to extend a huge thank you to Professor Matthews and all of my classmates. It has been a fun and informative summer. Here are my two lovely boys, Joaquin to the left and Navarro to the right. That tall guy there, Navarro, is now 8 years old. But at 18 months, he was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and at 3.5 years old, had yet to walk his first step or speak his first word. Thanks to early intervention and other accommodations that I spoke about in this presentation, now Navarro can hug his brother, look me in the eye, and read, write, and do mathematics at a third grade level. Navarro is a strong, bright boy, and we still have a lot of work to do, but he's going to take on anything the world has to give to him.